Today I'm breaking down every type of sofa that exists, from the most common ones you see in almost every home to some designs so strange you probably didn't know they existed. Some of these are incredibly popular and others are rare historical designs that most people have never heard of. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what each type of sofa is called and what makes them different. Let's start with one of the most popular sofas you find in modern homes, the sectional. Sectional sofas consist of 2, 3, or even 4 or more sofa pieces that connect together to form an L-shape or U-shape configuration. And the L-shaped version typically includes a corner piece and a chaise extension, while U-shaped models usually feature 2 chaises or additional seating sections. Now, these kinds of sofas are made for seating from a few people to over 10, so they're perfect for large family gatherings. And one important thing you should know about sectionals is that their pieces usually have to stay in a specific arrangement. They have a right way and a wrong way, something that changes with the next sofa on this list. Modular sofa. Modular sofas are the more flexible version of sectionals. They're also arranged in L or U shapes, but unlike sectionals, their pieces can be moved anywhere. It's like Legos but in sofa form, and you can even get a boneless modular sofa. These sofas lack that traditional wooden frame and instead rely on high-density foam and fiber-filled cushions. Reclining sofa. As the name suggests, these sofas recline. These sofas have a reclining back and an extendable footrest, and they come in a few different types. The most basic is a pushback, and these recline when you quite literally push back into the seat. Manual recliners are pretty common. They come with a lever and it pops up the footrest and you recline back. Then there's powered, and here you have the most control with being able to make micro adjustments until you find the right spot. Recliners also usually come with thicker armrests and padded backrests to make sure you sink completely into the sofa and never want to leave. Chaise Lounge. Chaise lounges, also known as
Chaise longues,
started in France back in the 16th to 18th century, and they were made for wealthy aristocrats who just wanted to lie down in the middle of the day without walking across their giant homes to their bedrooms, which honestly sounds pretty exhausting after a long day of enjoying generational wealth. A chaise lounge is basically an upholstered seat that's long enough to let you fully stretch your legs, and modern ones can have 2 armrests, 1 armrest, or none, but they're always meant for one person. Think of it as something between a chair and a bed. Nowadays, most people use this as a statement piece, so guests know they have style. Sleeper sofa. A sleeper sofa is exactly what it sounds like, a sofa that turns into a sleeper bed. And there's a bunch of types, but I'll be going over the 3 most common ones. Pull-out sleepers are the bread and butter. They look like a regular sofa, but are hiding a secret. There's a hidden mattress in there, and the minute you pull it out, it unfolds to reveal a bed that's about half as comfortable as your regular mattress. But it definitely beats sleeping on the floor. Now, pop-out sleepers, also known as pop-up sleepers, work similarly. But instead of finding a hidden mattress, you find seat cushions that form into a bed. Personally, I like these better, but I might be biased since I use these more. Futons or click-clack sofas have a backrest that folds down and clicks into place, and the clicking mechanism is where it gets the name click-clack from. Loveseat. You've probably seen these everywhere, and they're just a mini version of a sofa. It's made for 2, and a lot of people love them since they don't take up too much space. But there's a less common variation that you probably never heard of, and that's the
tête-à-tête,
which literally means head to toe in French. This version has an S shape that lets people sit facing opposite directions or slightly toward each other. The design itself was meant to let 2 people sit physically close to each other but still have a small barrier between them. And because of this setup, it also goes by many names like the courting bench, kissing bench, conversation bench, and gossip chair. Now from here on out, we'll start getting into some of the more classic sofa designs. Lawson. A Lawson is a traditionally styled upholstered sofa known for its loose back cushions and usually loose seat cushions too. And when you look at it, you'll probably notice how comfortable it looks and feels. And that's because the height of the back cushions lines up with the depth of the seat cushions, so it gives it that sink right in kind of look. The kind of sofa you accidentally fall asleep on. But the giveaway is the armrests. They're simple, low, and often squared off to give you plenty of space. but some variations use rolled arms instead for a bit of style. And this sofa actually came about when a rich Boston broker by the name of Thomas W. Lawson commissioned a custom sofa. He was basically just tired of the stiff Victorian furniture and just wanted something comfortable, and he got exactly what he wanted. English roll arm. The English roll arm is another very traditional looking sofa. It usually has deep seat cushions, a slightly sloped back, and a shape that looks very soft and comfortable. These sofas often have what's called a tight back, which just means the back cushion is built directly into the frame instead of being loose. And many English roll arm sofas also have exposed wooden legs. Sometimes the front legs even have small wheels called casters, but the main thing that stands out is the armrests. They roll outward and usually sit a little lower than the back. This gives the sofa a relaxed shape without looking too formal. Now, the design became popular in Britain during the 1800s, especially in large country homes. You might also hear it called a Bridgewater sofa or Howard-styled sofa, which are names connected to Howard and Sons, which is a pretty well-known furniture company from the time. Mid-century modern. Mid-century modern sofas have a look that's instantly recognizable. If you see a sofa with thin wooden legs that angle outward and lift the sofa slightly off the floor, then there's a good chance that you're looking at this style. These sofas became popular between the 1940s and 1960s, which is exactly where the name mid-century comes from. The design focuses heavily on simplicity. Most have a low profile, clean straight lines, and almost no decorative details. But the easiest way to identify one is by its legs. They're usually tapered wooden legs that raise the base slightly above the floor, and the end result is a sofa that blends vintage style with modern simplicity. Chesterfield. One of the most iconic sofa styles ever made is the Chesterfield, and it's been around for centuries and still shows up in everything from traditional libraries to modern living rooms. And the easiest way to recognize one is the deep button tufting that covers the back and arms. Another defining feature is going to be the shape. The arms and the back are usually the same height, forming one continuous horizontal line across the top of the sofa. And the arms themselves are tightly rolled and sometimes flare slightly outward, giving the sofa a bold and elegant profile. Now, most Chesterfields are upholstered in leather, which helps give them that classic vintage look. They're not always the softest sofas to sink into though, but what they might lack in plush comfort, they make up for in presence. A Chesterfield tends to command attention the moment you walk into a room. Tuxedo. If the Chesterfield is all about deep tufting and classic curves, the Tuxedo sofa takes a much cleaner and more structural approach. Like the Chesterfield, the arms and the back are usually the same height, creating one straight horizontal line across the top of the sofa. But instead of rolled arms, Tuxedo sofas use straight, boxy arms that sit almost perfectly perpendicular to the floor. This gives the sofa a much sharper and more architectural look. Another big difference is the lack of heavy tufting. Most Tuxedo sofas have smooth upholstery, which makes the silhouette look cleaner and more modern. And the design is believed to have originated in Tuxedo Park, New York in the late 1800s, which is a place known for its formal and elegant style. And that's exactly what the sofa reflects. A Tuxedo sofa looks structured, tailored, and polished, almost like a perfectly tailored suit for your living room. Cabriole sofa. Cabriole sofas look very different from the structured sofa that we just talked about. Instead of straight lines, this design is all about curves. Cabriole sofa usually have S-shaped legs, a curved back, and arms that bend inward toward the seat. And all of these curves give the sofa a very elegant and decorative look. This style first appeared in France and England in the early 1700s when furniture was designed to show off style and craftsmanship. And because of that, comfort wasn't always the main goal. These sofas were often placed in formal sitting rooms and used more as decoration than everyday seating. In fact, they became status symbols for wealthy families who wanted to show off their taste and wealth. Basically, the 1700s versions of keeping up with the Joneses. Camelback sofa. Camelback sofas are another classic furniture style, but they're easy to spot because of their unique backrest. Like the name suggests, the back usually has a curved shape with a raised hump in the middle that slopes down toward the arms. The shape looks a bit like the back of a camel, and once you see it, it's actually pretty hard to unsee. Some versions even have 2 humps instead of 1. And another common feature is the seat cushions. Many Camelback sofas use loose or semi-attached cushions, which can make them a little more comfortable than some other traditional sofas on this list. But the rest of the design is similar to other classic styles like the Chesterfield or Tuxedo. And they often have wooden legs that lift the sofa slightly off the floor, along with either straight or rolled armrests. This keeps that elegant look of traditional furniture, but adds a softer and more decorative shape. Davenport sofa. Another classic sofa style from the 1800s is the Davenport, and at first glance it has a simple rectangular shape with a fully upholstered frame. Some Davenport sofas can almost look like benches from a distance, and that's because they often use one long, firm seat cushion instead of multiple separate cushions. And many versions also have wooden armrests that can be straight or paneled, along with short wooden legs that lift the base slightly off the floor. And the name comes from the A.H. Davenport Company, which is a furniture company that made this style popular in the late 1800s. And because of that, the Davenport became a common sofa in many middle and upper class homes across America. Settee. Settee is very similar to a loveseat because it's also made for 2 people. The difference is that settees usually look more formal and decorative. Many of them have a visible wooden frame, carved legs, and detailed upholstery made from leather, fabric, or even tapestry. Some designs also include deep tufting or small metal studs called nail head trim. Settees first became popular in Europe during the 1600s and 1700s. At the time, they were often used as decorative seating in the homes of wealthy families. They also worked as a smaller alternative to the larger sofa that were common back then. Knole sofa. The Knole sofa is one of the oldest sofa designs still known today. It first appeared in England in the early 1600s and takes its name from Knole House. And what makes it easy to recognize is its very tall arms and back. All 3 are usually the same height, which gives the sofa a boxy look. It honestly looks like something a king would sit on. In the early versions, the arms would actually move up and down, and they were held in place with decorative cords that tie the corners of the sofa. Some traditional Knole sofas also have small wooden posts called finials on the corners, and because of its size and design, the Knole sofa became a symbol of wealth and status among English aristocrats. It's also considered one of the earliest forms of upholstered sofas.
Récamier.
After the tall and boxy Knole sofa,
Récamier.
goes in the opposite direction. A traditional one is a backless sofa made for lounging rather than sitting upright, and it usually has 2 raised ends but no full backrest, which makes it great for relaxing, reading, or just lying down. And the design became popular after a painting of the French socialite
Juliette Récamier.
by the artist
Jacques-Louis David.
where she is shown reclining on this type of seat. Since then, the Récamier has been seen as a symbol of elegance and leisure. Today, these sofas are often used as decorative seating in the living room or just placed against the wall to add a stylish touch to a space. Bouclé Cloud sofa. After all those classic designs, the Bouclé Cloud sofa brings them back to modern comfort. This sofa is known for its rounded, oversized shapes that almost look like soft clouds. The cushions are thick and pillowy, which makes the whole sofa look extremely soft and inviting. The name bouclé comes from the fabric often used to cover it, and it's a textured material made from looped yarn, which gives the sofa a soft and cozy look. And because of its shape and fabric, the Cloud sofa feels very relaxed and casual. You'll often see it in modern living rooms where the goal is comfort and a cozy atmosphere rather than a formal look. Daybed. A daybed is a piece of furniture that works as both a sofa and a bed. During the day, it works as a sofa, and at night, it can be used as a place to sleep. And most daybeds don't use regular sofa cushions. Instead, they usually have a twin-size mattress with a back and sides built around it. And because of this design, daybeds are pretty versatile. You'll often see them in bedrooms, guest rooms, or shared spaces where people might want an extra place to rest. Some models even include a second mattress underneath called the trundle, and this can roll out to create another sleeping space when needed. If you want to see why some people are stopping buying traditional sofas altogether, then check out this video right here where I explain the boneless sofa trend. And if you enjoy videos like this and want to see more, then consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.